Hey guys, welcome back to Cosmic Talks with your one and only Venus, Goddess of Love. This is now episode 14, and today's topic is going to be about living in the now. Stick around for a small meditation at the end of this episode. So, this quarantine is allowing us to live in the now more than ever. So we're slowing down the pace and just tapping back in. Granted, lots of lives are lost, but if you're one of the few who hasn't been affected, try and think of the things that you took for granted in your life. Maybe finding ways to be grateful for them now, or making amends with the past, so we don't continue on dwelling it. See, while we're here in the now, practically forced isolation for the betterment of humanity, take notes or journal your thoughts, like being aware of where your mind wanders. Does it not serve your best self? Did you heal it? Ask yourself these questions. Come to terms with yourself. You'll find ways to occupy yourself in the now by just allowing the space that has been created to just fill in. See, in life, we have the power to make the most of it. It's all in our willingness. So you have an option. Do you keep dwelling in the past or the future, or the things you don't have because this egotistic mind doesn't exist in the now? This entity inside you becomes a dark energy, because inside it wants to keep you in that same cycle it feeds off of. So it continues in a pattern and vibration that matches this darkness, which most of us live this way. And it's really, really sad. So it's easy to give in to this pattern because we are used to it. Now, to alter it, you must identify with it. You must sit with yourself and dissect each thought pattern that brings you to the past or to the future. And if you need a list of how to reflect within, I say, see how you talk to yourself when you work out. Or see how you talk to yourself when you look into the mirror. And as you're working out, try not to have music on. Meditation also helps, because sometimes it's hard to silence the mind, but the longer you sit in your meditation, the thoughts eventually stop. And you're just coming to complete stillness. And in the moment, it's like insomnia, right? But through meditation, you're in this awake state and not trying to fall asleep as if you were while you're going through your insomnia. So in your meditation, you're learning to close out these tabs in your mind. This way, it isn't stored somewhere in your brain in order for it to come back and ring your doorbell and be like, hey, it's me, I'm back. It's basically letting go of the attachment of these tabs and not dwelling on them anymore. So yeah, once you're done sitting for as long as you can, journal whatever comes up. This way you identified it and released it. Or practice yoga. I find myself learning more about myself through yoga. Now, once you have come to terms as to why this entity was created, completely eliminate it. This way you can create space. A space to be filled. What I mean by that is these fears no longer fill in the void in your brain. So basically, now that it is completely eliminated, you allow things to just come in naturally. It's something that we call downloads. So downloads basically is like a flow in a stream, or a sudden burst of conscious expansion and awareness. The more you're able to stay centered, present, and aware, observing yourself and being mindful in each and every moment, the more you'll be able to notice when you do receive a download. You're probably thinking, what exactly would this download be? And it can be an array of things. It can be inspiration, it could be wisdom, it could be psychic ability, knowledge, skills, things you just never thought you had before, right? It could also be a higher frequency, the truth, higher guidance, anything. It could be anything positive. The way I like to describe living in a now is kind of like Matilda. enjoying the wonders of life as if you were still a child, and just doing anything that comes to mind, whether that's to dance and just like act a complete fool while dancing, whether that's learning a new skill or just simply taking in the moment. So, and while just living in this moment, what exactly do you see? Is there something to learn from it? I'll explain an example. See, Mother Nature is a prime example of life. She shows us many lessons, and when you change your perspective, you could see the beauty and the breakdown. So let's imagine this. You see a creek. Yeah, it's beautiful to just look at. Maybe take a few pictures, maybe draw a painting of it. And sure, granted, that's beautiful, just getting some inspiration from this creek. But did you ever stop and look at this creek? Did you ever stop and notice that maybe there's something to learn from this creek? So, how about this? You take a moment and you sit down with yourself. You sit down on a rock and you just observe the creek. And then you just take in the moment. You listen to the sounds. Maybe start to notice the flow of water, the way the water hits the rocks, the way water flows regardless of any obstacles in their way. Maybe the way the rocks separates the water, just for it to come back together to flow again. So, how can you compare that to a life lesson? Well, if you are happy with your flow of water, then nothing can deter you from your true self and destiny, because just like water, life keeps flowing. Now, let's continue with this whole imagination of the creek, right? What else can you learn from that? And I'll leave that imagination up to you. Or I'll just leave that exercise for you to come up with ways of how to learn the lessons through Mother Nature. And it's kind of an example of how you would receive downloads, right? The downloads is through wisdom. The downloads is through creativity or inspiration. So if you continue to live in the moment, you will get to see these certain examples through Mother Nature, and just by living in the now. So next time you're outside, take a moment and listen. If you live in a busy area, sure, there is loud noise, sure, there are distractions, but tap in. Let the space be filled with the unknown. Look around you and see what you can learn from it. Or be in the moment and dance with the universe. And that's exactly where I'm going to leave you with this topic. But let me leave you with a poem and a meditation before we part ways. So I just wrote this poem recently, actually on Saturday, because I decided to just shut off all of my technology that day, except I stayed on a video chat with my friend who wanted to experience nature together. So we experienced nature together, and we just talked about nature and just stayed outside all day and enjoyed the moment of now and just observed. So I'm just going to call this poem In the Now. There are moments to live for, like the one we all know. Let your curiosity peak instead of questioning what could it be. Don't let time be wasted. But if you really want to know, you cannot try to understand. It's more of just learning how to dance with life and playing around with different choreographies, like ballroom dancing with the past, slow, harmonious, and graceful, and making plans for the future, patient, strategic, faithful. And just be still in the moment. Just take in the sounds. Frolic amongst the unknown. Create space. And don't be afraid to unload. And while in that process, find a deeper meaning of what it's like to live in the now. And you too can experience the magic by just living in the now. Now let's end this with a meditation, shall we? Let's find a quiet, peaceful place. It could be anywhere. And when you find a spot, take a seat in any seated position. Close your eyes and take a big breath in. Then gently open up your mouth and exhale out all of your air. One more time, breathe in. And then open your mouth and exhale out. Now we're going to say a mantra. So let's inhale. I am here. I am now. And then exhale. I am enough. So inhale. I am here. I am now. And then exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. Inhale. I am here. I am now. Exhale. I am enough. And you can repeat this mantra as long as you want until it's effortlessly repeated in your mind as if it's an echo. And through meditation, it helps us come to complete stillness. And whatever comes up in your mind through meditation, be sure to write it all down in your journal. Thank you for listening this week. Please like, share, subscribe, or even leave a comment. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now. Have a great week.